everything correct. I felt good. I feel good. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my little YouTube show that I like to call My Life is Falling Apart, but here's what I've learned. As you can see, we're in a different setting. I'm in my backyard on my patio today. I decided to do things a little differently for today's video. This is part 3 of the self series. Today's topic is self-care and self-love, mostly self-care. But I got some answers from people on Instagram the other day about what they do as their self-care practice, so we're going to go over those topics. But while I'm doing that, we're going to do something a little fun today. I brought it outside because I'm working with Bleach, and it's going to be a denim design DIY. Yeah, so I like to call it content and conversations. Little best of both worlds that YouTube offers. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Yeah, why not, guys? Let me tell you what you're gonna need for today if you are participating in the denim DIY. We are going to need some bleach, okay? This is the one that we have. This is the, I don't know, scented, I guess. A cup to pour your bleach in, and an artistic tool of some sort. I'm using a paintbrush. If you don't have a paintbrush, an old toothbrush works perfectly fine, or anything that can spread bleach with that you don't need, pretty much. I got a pair of jeans from the men's section at Walmart for $10 and some change, so if I mess up, I won't even be mad. It's not that much, you know? Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so like I was saying, this is a, what did I call it? Content plus conversations video. Today we are going to be having our conversation on self-care. For the majority of this video, you may not be able to see my beautiful face. I apologize for that, but the focus is on the content and the conversation, so as long as you can see what I'm doing and hear what I'm saying, we're good. Alright, let's get started, guys. So, the definition... Oh, pause, by the way. For the people who are here for the DIY, I am not going to be verbally giving you a tutorial on how we do things. You can see exactly what I'm doing. I gave you the items list that you need at the beginning, and you should be able, I hope, I'm not going to say you should, but I hope you are able to follow along just the same. Back to what I was saying. So, self-care is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health and happiness, right? So self-care isn't really one set thing. I don't think so anyway, not to me. Self-care is whatever you make it out to be. And I notice a lot of people will be like, oh, this specific thing that I do is self-care, or, you know, I have a day out of the week where I go and I do my self-care. And that's all fine and dandy, but there's a lot of things that we do on the regular, like we just do every day because we feel like we should, or it's healthy, it's clean, and a lot of those things are considered self-care. So I wanted to touch on those as well. When I had asked people on Instagram, there's actually one person who said combing and moisturizing her hair was part of her self-care. And I was like, yes, because there's things that we do every single day, like I said before, that can be considered self-care. A lot of people will consider a shower part of their self-care, or, you know, eating part of their self-care. It's, if you do it every day and it keeps you healthy, it makes you happy, then it's considered self-care. Why not, right? It's good for us. Let me give you guys a little bit about what I do for my self-care. So, as a mother, I don't often have like a lot of time to be like, oh, self-care Sundays, like the whole day is not going to be self-care for me ever. But I do try to wake up early in the mornings before my son wakes up and get some yoga and meditation in that I consider part of my self-care. Wash day, that's part of my self-care. They don't happen regularly, like, not regularly. They do happen regularly, but there's not a consistent schedule for me that I wash my hair on. I did a face mask this morning. That was a part of my self-care. I was actually able to wake up very early before my son woke up and take a shower without, you know, having to worry about what my son is doing, where he is. So that was nice. That was a little self-care session for me. And honestly, random DIYs, like even like this, just some creative outlet of some sort, I also consider a part of my self-care, because I just do, and I think it's fun, and it fuels my happiness. Like, you know? I make a lot of like jewelry type things as well, and in the moments where I'm just sitting there doing that, that's definitely self-care to me, because I'm relaxed, I'm happy, I feel good, things like that. That's what you can consider your self-care. Alright. So, forewarning, I did some bleached pants yesterday. As we're going through this, you might not see the design that I'm doing appear for a little while. The bleach does take a little bit to set. Also, these are light wash jeans. They are not as light, I think, as jeans do get, but it might take a little bit longer because they are already so light. So, one of my very close friends sent me a little diagram to show what self-care can be. It's the sun, sleep, gratitude, meditation, nature, journaling, and art of any kind. They all contribute to charging yourself. And that's, like I was saying before, my creative outlets are part of my self-care. I like being outside as part of my self-care, going for a little walk, or even just hanging out in my backyard with my son running around. Like, that's part of our self-care. We do that almost every day, actually. But yeah, I don't have a set self-care routine because I don't really have time to have a set self-care routine, but there are the things that I do as self-care. Sometimes you won't realize, or I don't realize that it's self-care because I just do it because I want to. I want to go over what other people told me was part of their self-care routines, because I got a lot of cool answers and a lot of things that I didn't realize I was doing as self-care that I already do. So, we have skincare and solo smoke sessions. So for those of you who don't smoke, fine. For those of you who do smoke, fine. That's your choice. That's whatever you want to do. But skincare. I think we all know skincare as like the main thing as self-care, because a lot of people online will automatically equate skincare to their self-care routine, which is fine. That's great, honestly. But I also wanted to say self-care is for everyone, like men, women, children, babies, the elderly, anybody, animals. Self-care is for everyone, okay? It's not just skincare or doing your hair or relaxing and meditating and doing yoga and sipping tea and feeling pretty. No, self-care, like I said, is any action you do to preserve or improve your own health and happiness. If you do something that makes you happy, you're practicing self-care. It's as simple as that, pretty much. I actually got a lot of answers from men and women on Instagram. Some answers from men were actually solo smoke sessions, walks, writing, and some people actually got a couple people that said masturbation. And honestly, like I said, if you're doing something that makes you happy, it's self-care. So I kind of understood that. Another guy said meditation, working out, studying, and going for long drives. Definitely felt that one. I don't get to do the long drives things as often, but just being able to sit in my car and listen to music definitely feels like self-care to me. I did point out meditation. Working out, definitely self-care. Preserves your health. It's not as fun for me as it is for some people, but I do try to force myself to do it every now and then. Another guy said prayer, haircuts, and hustling. Definitely heard that, because we were just talking about hair, and of course prayer. We also have, let me see the answers from guys. Okay, another guy said, I like to learn and experience new things in life. So something like this, they might consider self-care, learning something new if they haven't done something like this before. My sister said, self-care, what's that? With 3 little ones, I don't have any self-care time. Definitely felt that. But I'm going to keep repeating it. There are so many things that we do that we don't realize are self-care. And because we brush it off and say, oh, I do that every day, we don't take the time to realize how important it is. Like having a glass of wine that I do every video is part of my self-care. I promise. It's good to have a glass of wine every now and then. Even my doctor told me that when I was breastfeeding. So I'm gonna listen to my doctor. Also, forgot to mention this in the beginning. Lots of towels are needed for something like this, or just outside space where if bleach touches something, it's not that big of a deal. I have an old workout mat under here. I'm on top of some kind of table, I believe. And in between the pant legs, I have tucked dirty old tie-dye, hair dye towels just to make sure that the bleach doesn't bleed through the pants to the other side, because I want the sides to, you know, be designed individually. Also, I don't know if you guys can see this right here. The design is starting to come through. Like I said, it's going to take a little while. It shows up more when the bleach dries rather than it's saturated and soaking wet. But you do want to try and saturate it a bunch so that the color pops when it does happen. We have saying no to invites for gatherings when overwhelmed or you just don't feel like it. Oh man, I know that one. That is so important. And if you guys were here for my video number 2 of the self series where I was talking about putting yourself first is definitely number 1 on self-care list. And as much as declining invitations to go out is part of self-care, I think for me personally, hanging out with my friends is a huge part of my self-care as well, because I'm so often, especially now in, you know, COVID times, I'm so often stuck in the house where it's just me, Zeke, and the dog, and it drives me crazy sometimes. So being able to get out the house when I can, with who I can, the people that I see often, okay, it's a blessing to me, and I take that as self-care, and I don't take those times lightly. Like, if I have the opportunity to get out of my house safely, safe for everybody, I'm going to take that opportunity. Another thing that I like to think of as self-care is date nights. For those of you in relationships, think of it as self-care or relationship care, I guess, because a lot of people will be like, oh, we've been dating for a year or 2, whatever. We don't really have to go out on dates. We can just hang out. We can buy food and sit in the house. And that is perfectly fine to do every now and then. I love doing that, actually. But to keep the romance going, to keep the feelings flowing, and to help each other feel wanted at all times, it's good to, you know, plan dates, ask each other out on dates randomly, all that good stuff. Another thing about doing this thing, I was telling you, it's going to take a little while sometimes for it to show up. Move quickly, keep it saturated so you can see where you just were, because as it dries and hasn't actually started showing you the bleach yet, you're not going to realize where you just painted. So be patient, and if you don't see the line where you just were, just move on to the other side and come back to it. You can bounce back and forth. Of course, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be beautiful. The point is, these are DIY jeans, so you know what I mean? It's gonna look like DIY jeans. That's the point. Also, if you want thinner lines, you can see how thick of the paintbrush I'm using. If you want thinner lines, just pick up something smaller. I have lots of paintbrushes. I just chose to do this because I wanted the design to be pretty thick and bulky, or chunky, I should say. And also, if you don't have paintbrushes, don't even bother going out and buy them, just to destroy them with bleach. Like I said, old toothbrushes work. Literally anything that you can spread liquid with. Alright guys, you already know the drill. Today's vibe is poured into this cute square glass that I found in my mom's china cabinet. It's definitely coming with me when I leave. But in the glass is Stella Berry flavor. If you guys know Stella wines, they are like semi-sparkling, mostly semi-sweet wines. I've tried so many of them and they're all so good. This one, the berry one, has like a combination of different berry flavors. I think that makes sense to you guys. And it's semi-sweet, semi-sparkling, as I said before. And of course, cheers. I feel like I'm drinking juice. That's not okay. Alright, so took a little break. Well, I didn't take a break. I took a break from recording so that I could get the pants done some more, let them process so that you guys could see. My son is awake. I'm trying to see if I can do this, finish this up before he notices me. As you can see, it's developing more. You can see the designs. Okay, like I was saying, last okay, last of these little self-care tidbits. A lot of them were really good, so I just wanted to read through. We've got long baths, buying myself things I want. That one I completely understand 100%. Sitting and taking time to rest my body. Oh god, that's my favorite, although I don't have time to do that often. And nails. Well, not me doing my nails, but getting my nails done is definitely a form of self-care. It feels like it, and you know, it just is. Ooh, something that I found on Twitter, that I got sent on Twitter, says declining a call because you don't feel like talking is a part of self-care. Sometimes we have to isolate ourselves just to recuperate and relax. That is okay. Whether it be declining a call, declining an invitation to go somewhere, whatever it may be. Sometimes we just gotta be alone, and that's fine. I apologize for the background noise, guys. We are outside. Like I said, I have no control over this, but it's honestly, besides the motorcycles and cars, the wind and everything is quite soothing, so I hope you see it the same way. Think of this video, taking the time out to sit down and relax and watch this video. Think of that as self-care as well. I hope that if you didn't learn something new about how to bleach some jeans in a cute way, that you learned a little bit about what it really means to take care of yourself. And I hope you enjoyed watching my video, guys. Thank you so much. So go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of what your self-care routine consists of. Subscribe to my channel, please, especially if you have been here from the very beginning. I love and appreciate your support as always. Send a friend this video, especially the ones who struggle with self-care. They always complain that they don't have time to take care of themselves, and they don't realize the little things that they can be doing on the daily will help. Send this video to them. Make sure they understand the importance of self-care, and of course turn on your notifications so you know when I post my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been about 2 days now since I filmed the rest of this video. I just wanted to show you guys the final product of the pants. Now, I like how mine turned out. If you, like I said, if you want thinner lines, use a smaller paintbrush or whatever tool you're using, and yeah. That's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed this video, the content, or the conversation, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment down below of what either DIY activity or topics you would like to hear about next. Share this video with your friends.